Right now, say I want Josh Taylor and get the Josh Taylor fight because he's age-level. That's right. So anybody on that pipeline right now, that's a big deal.
I talked his ass, but the same day that James Tony came and signed the contract. Wow. So I'm talking to both of them on the phones like this. Look, I got Zab on one phone, I got James on one phone.
What is Crawford gonna do before? He's gonna beat Sean. Everybody listen, he's gonna beat Sean. He's gonna beat Sean. He's gonna beat Sean.
Mike Lewis is the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Let's Talk Sports, y'all. What up with y'all? Boxing to DC, what up? All y'all out there, what's up? As you if you may have seen or heard, Monster Inoue via second round, via 10th round stoppage has now become the second fighter, male fighter that is, because Clarissa's 3-time in women's boxing, or boxing, however y'all want to categorize it. But again, the second male in the 4-belt era, first being Terence Crawford, and second now being Monster Inoue, with which he is fought 3 different he fought 3 title fights this year in two different divisions. And first he earlier this year in July he dismantled Cool Boy Steph, and the route to take his title in the next division up. And then today he fought for Undisputed this morning. Last night over there and this morning over there in Tokyo, Japan. So Monster Inoue is officially the second fighter to become in the 4-belt era to become undisputed. Now, the biggest debate that's going on right now: who is more worthy of being undisputed, Monster Inoue or Terence Crawford? Now, let's be honest. I don't like the bickering and the way people are tearing one down over the other. They both are deserving. So if you pick one or the other, there's nothing wrong with that. If you pick Terence Crawford as your fighter of the year, pound for pound number 1, there's nothing wrong with that. But for those that have the argument for Monster Inoue, there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't have to tear down Monster Inoue to prove the point about Bud Crawford and vice versa. Both of them are deserving to be fighter of the year. Both are deserving of being pound for pound number 1. Even if, for those that say, I'm going to put both of them up there as a tie, I don't have a problem with none of that. I just don't have, the only thing I have a problem with is trying to diminish one over the other. They both have had unbelievable years. They both had unbelievable runs. So you don't really have to tear one down or the other. It's a great pick either way you go into it. But like I said, for those that pick Monster Inoue, it's valid. It's valid. I was one of the people that back in a few not too long ago that was nitpicking at his resume. He silenced me. He dominated Cool Boy Steph, knocked him out, went over there for the Undisputed, knocked the guy out, taped the Palace out this morning. That's 3 big victories in 1 year. It's 2-time Undisputed along with Terence Crawford being 2-time Undisputed. And like I said, he fought major fights. Can't take nothing else from him. We can sit there and try and nitpick things, man, but we can't take nothing from him, man. Monster Inoue is deserving of being pound for pound number 1, and so is Terence Crawford. So whichever one you pick over the other, whatever your preference is, I have no problem with that. I just don't want you. We just don't need to tear down one versus the other, because they both are very, 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 very deserving of being pound for pound number 1. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound being number 1. I'm to be honest with you. Let's chop it up. Let's go back for a minute before we get into fight of the year and fighter of the year and all that type of stuff. Those in the comment section, tell me who your vote is for fight of the year. Tell me who your pound for pound number 1 is. If you don't have neither one of them up there, I want to know who you got. But I mean, like I said, to me, it definitely comes down to Monster Inoue or Terrence Crawford for pound for pound #1 or fight of the year. And like I said again, I don't have a problem either way you pick. Just don't tear down one versus the other. Bud earned this ticket to the dance, so did Monster in a way. You know what I mean? In the meantime, like I said, tell me who y'all pick as your pound for pound #1 right now and your fight of the year. Fight of the year, pound for pound #1. Give it to me. Give it to me. I'd love to know what y'all think. In the meantime, let's talk about what happened in Saudi because that's going around too. As we all know, AJ was successful, looked good, patient, great boxing skills. He got out, stopped Dollar Wallin. And in the meantime, Deontay Wilder looked very, very bad. Got rocked in the ninth round by Joseph Parker and just like the entire fight. He just never was in the fight. He was never about it. Looked like his legs were shot. And be honest with you, let me say this to a lot of people. After every time a fight happens, it's a fighter that we like or we kind of care for, whatever. We kind of start to get into the excuses, and then you got the other side that just want to rip a person completely down. But here's the ticket to the dance with me. If you're one of them fighters, because of the way you move business wise, it takes you a long time to get in the ring, and you have to be out of the ring for a substantial amount of time because you're looking for the biggest fight or the biggest payday, and you get out there and you lay an egg. It is what it is. Excuses are not valid. It's one thing if you out of the ring because you're injured. That's a whole different conversation. But if you're out of the ring just because you feel you worth this and you worth that, I'm not saying you're wrong. Get your paper. I'm not saying you're wrong. But when we get in the ring and whatever the product is that. We can't make no excuses. Oh man, he ain't fought in 14 months. That's his problem. Oh, he only fought one round in 3 years. That's his problem. Not knocking Deontay Wilder. Everybody know how I feel about Deontay Wilder, but that stuff don't fly. The bottom line is he looked bad. I don't understand the point of what, and a lot of Malik Scott is under all kinds of heat right now. Which I don't. Which the only grace card I would give Malik is I don't know what he saw in camp. I don't know what he saw in Deontay in the ring that night. I don't know. Maybe he was telling his fighter what to do just to make it to the 12th because hey man, you ain't right. Just find a way to get to the 12th and we'll move on. That could be a possibility. Other than that, your strategy was horrid. When I say horrid, I mean horrid. That's one of the worst strategies I ever seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. I didn't understand you're flicking a jab. You're flicking a jab and it's not even touching your opponent. All young fighters and even fighters of age, it is never a good strategy to allow your opponent to come straight towards you when you're not offering nothing to keep them honest. See, even if you're landing your money shot, even if you hit hard, and you're looking for that one shot. Touch that person somewhere. Hit him in his arm, hit him in his side, hit him in his shoulder, hit him in his side, hit him anywhere, just to stop him from coming at you with a full hit of steam and throwing punches. He threw that same looping right hand every round of the fight. He finally caught him with it in the ninth round. And the only thing that really, to be truthfully honest, y'all, the only thing that kept Deontay on his feet is that Joseph Parker is not a big puncher. That was anybody with any kind of puncher power, the fight would have been over. He'd have been through the ropes, unconscious in the ninth round. Because he buzzed him for real. Because boom, he hit him and he's looking over there talking to somebody in the crowd. So he got buzzed, but it's just that Joseph Parker ain't got the crack to put him out. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't land another one. But shout out Deontay. I'm gonna tell y'all again. I said it the other day. I would not be surprised if they go and do the AJ fight anyway. But they got to lose. I mean, it wasn't like they really, unless y'all really believe that they really had an opportunity to try to be champions again or make a real statement in terms of status in the boxing ring. The fight was just for them for to end the grudge and make money. What else was the fight for? So him losing shouldn't stop that. Unless somebody telling me they really believe AJ or Deontay really had a legitimate chance to get back into the thick of things with the big boys, the fight can still happen, lose, loss, and all. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the UK fans still want to see AJ whoop Deontay, and I'm pretty sure all American fans still want to hope and that Deontay may be able to still whoop him. I don't see where the fight really lost the luster. It was a grudge match, money fight all along. You know what I'm saying? It never was anything other than that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, so that fight can still happen. In the meantime, if AJ is truly considering trying to make a run at the title, because we all know Usyk and Fury are lined up early February, and no 9 times out of 10, depending on how that fight goes, that fight may require a rematch. So with that being said, you go from so Zhang said he wants Joshua. Now, if Joshua, if you're serious about being a champion and being back in the rankings, it's Herkovich or Zhang. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see how serious you are about that. Now, if you just out here just trying to make fights, then go ahead and fight wild anyway, make the money. If you knock them out, you knock them out, but go ahead and make the money. I don't see the point of not doing it. You know what I'm saying? And fight of the year, I don't know. I need help. I need help with the fight of the year. Which fight? Because it was a lot of big fights, but not many of them lived up to the hype. Most of the mega fights was one sided. You know, Bud versus, Crawford versus Spence, one sided. Boo Boo versus Benavidez, one sided. Caleb Plant versus Benavidez, one sided. Monster Inoue versus Cool Boy Steph, one sided. A lot of these fights didn't live up to what we thought they would be. A lot of these fights wasn't tough fights. They were big fights, but they didn't live up to the hype. It was just a one sided shellagging. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So trying to think which fight to you was the fight of the year. By default, y'all, I might have to go Loma versus Devin. You know, it was controversial to many or to some, but that's the only fight that really had us got people debating which one went either way. Everything else was one sided shellagons. You know what I mean? In female boxing, the fight of the year, definitely Chantel Cameron versus Katie Taylor. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, what do we got? I could be wrong. Talk to me. Talk to me in the comment section. Y'all been too shy today. Y'all been too shy today. So that's my fight of the year. So right now I could be wrong. I could come back and say something else. But right now, I gotta say the only fight that I can even think of that was competitive out of all the fights that we thought that was big or major, the only fight that was competitive was Devin and Loma. You know what I mean? Ryan and Tank, that wasn't really competitive. It was only competitive for about a minute and 30 seconds. Loma versus Regis, that wasn't competitive. You know what I mean? Nothing happened there. Um, Crawford Spence, one sided. Fulton versus Inoue, one sided. And I wouldn't dare disrespect y'all and say that and put anything stock in that Ngannou Furry fight and put that in the list. Nope. Won't be none of that here. So outside of that, yeah, Loma and Devin might be my winner for fight of the year. My fighter of the year, I'm gonna go Inoue / Crawford. I can't make a decision between the two, so I'm gonna pick both. That's my list. Y'all ain't gotta like it, but that's my list. Crawford and Monster Inoue are my pound for pounds number one and my pound for pound fight of the year. Fighter of the year. You know what I mean? So they both had magical years. They both won major mega fights and they both did it in dominated fashion. Can't say nothing else. So if y'all feel anything different, let me know. And let me see, my wish list for next year. Let me see. You got Crawford. I want somebody to fight Boots. Somebody fight Boots. I need Boots to have a major fight in 2024. I need Gary Antoine Russell to get his shot at 140 with one of the champions, regardless of who it may be, in 2024. We need these fights off the shelf. We also need Devin Tank, Devin Teofimo, Devin and Gary Antoine. We need these fights off the shelf. Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson, El Rayo and Shakur Stevenson. Let's get these fights on the shelf. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. We had a great 2023. We had a great 2023. And actually we had a great couple years, but a great 2023. And we need to keep the smoke going in 2024. No keep busy fights. No keep busy fights. All smoke. Canelo versus David Benavidez. Let's get it in 2024, and let's get it now. Don't make us wait till September. Don't drag it out. Do it now. I have either that, or you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I wouldn't mind seeing Benavidez go and take on David Morrell. Not mad at that. But Canelo, you can't fight Jaime McGill. That you can't do. No, 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 no. Not Jaime McGill. Can't have it. Tim Zul. Let's get busy with Charlo. Charlo, get. I didn't address that. I didn't address that. I'm sure we all seen the reports, and I don't know the details. I'll be honest with you, didn't know the ins and outs, but I do know he got charged with assault. I believe it was of his spouse, and that we don't condone that in no kind of way. So if any of those allegations are true, may he be dealt with through the authorities, the proper channels, and all that. But at the same time, I pray for him and his family to get the help that they need, and pray that they all be able to find a way to get through this. But yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna talk about no fight he can have. He need to handle that first. He need to handle that first. Oh, another fight we gotta have in 2024: Caleb Plant versus Jamal Charlo. I don't care. I don't care who else out there for them to fight. Them two gotta have it. It has to happen. Caleb Plant versus Jamal Charlo has to happen under no circumstances. One grabbed the other face, the other one got a smack heard around the world. Get in the ring, make it happen. That has to happen. Caleb Plant versus Jamal Charlo is another one. So let's go back through there. Caleb Plant versus Jamal Charlo has to happen. David Benavidez versus Canelo or David Morrell has to happen. Shakur versus Frank Martin, Shakur versus Loma, Shakur versus El Rayo has to happen. Has to happen. We need these fights. You know what I mean? And so first of course you got Fury and Fury and Usyk. Talk to me in the comment section. Tell me who's your fighter of the year? Who's the fight of the year? Oh, here he come. All right. We're only up here for a short period of time today, but I'm gonna see what you got to say on this topic. I'm dying to hear and don't come with no bias. Don't come with no bias. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I gotta send my own link. Ah, they hit me up on IG. They hit me up on IG. I'm sending a link to you shortly, sir. Coming to you, sir. And I want to know who your fighter of the year and who your fight of the year is. I gave my opinion on it, but I'm dying to know. I'm dying to know. Talk to me, y'all. Who's your fight of the year? Who's your fight of the year? And who's your fighter of the year? Like I said, to me, I'm gonna take y'all not gonna like it, but I'm gonna take the soft way out. To me, I think both fighters are deserving. I'm saying I'm picking Monster Inoue and Terrence Crawford as my pound for pound number one and my fighter of the year. I can't decide between the two. They both are deserving. They both are deserving. I be lying to you. I can't do it. I cannot separate the two. To me, they both are deserving, so I'm gonna stick with that. But like I said, for those that got a discrepancy, please let it be known. Please let it be known. I just sent it to you, sir. Please let it be known. I can't separate the two. Those are my fight of the year. And my fight of the year right now, I'm gonna go with Devin Haney and Noma. Because all the other fights, even though they were bigger fights, they were one sided. You know what I mean? Their fights wasn't competitive. You know what I mean? I don't want to say a non-competitive fight is the fight of the year. You know, that people go back and like, man, what am I watching? This wasn't even no good fight. This person got slaughtered. You know what I mean? That him the wish list. We put the wish list out there. But talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. As I see what they talking about here on IG. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder said they really don't want that fight. When I lost, did you see how happy he was coming out? I broke out laughing. Nah, don't do that, Deontay. Don't do that. All right, sir. Talk to me.
Bless up yourself, man. I just tuned in, brothers. I don't really know. I heard you mention the monster and the fight of the year, but I really don't know what the subject
Okay,
matter is.
the fighter. Who's your fighter of the year? If you had to stop everything right now and put a vote for the fighter of the year, who's your fighter of the year?
Well, just because of what he accomplished in one calendar year, I'm going to give it to the monster because he became undisputed twice, two different weight classes
So
in one calendar year.
mm,
So
okay,
that's actually never been done before.
okay,
So I'll give it to him. Now, the fight of the year, because of the magnitude and all that we felt about it, I would give it to Crawford and Spence because in spots, it kind of looked like it was going to be a back and forth fight. And then, okay, you know, it seems like it seemed like it was going to be a back and forth fight, and then Crawford would take over. And then you had the moments where Spence was trying to fire off the power shots, and Crawford would take over. So I give that the fight of the year to me, simply because of the magnitude of it and how long the fans waited for it.
okay. I mean, to be honest, the only I said to me, I'm gonna give the fight of the year to Devin and Loma because it's the only fight that we actually lived up to somewhat of the hype. Everything else was one sided. Every fight we got excited about, it was a shellacking. You know what I mean? Monster in the way he ran through Cool Boy stuff. I mean, you know, David Benavidez, he ran through Boo Boo Andre. I mean, every fight that we could think of, Spence, Crawford, one sided. You know what I mean? So they were the bigger fights, but they just didn't live up to the hype. So I said, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, who'd you just say was the fight of the year to you? I'm sorry. Who'd you just say?
Lomachenko and Devin
Oh,
Haney.
okay. Well, that was a good fight, but let me tell you what. To be honest with you, I thought Devin came up short in that fight. I did, but he
Mm,
won. He won, but I believe he came up short. I told that to his dad on another podcast too. That didn't go over too well, but you
I'm
know,
sure it didn't. So
it
you got
is.
a pro. So you just would well, come on, man. You can't be coming there with picking with fighters, man. And they part and
No,
they
no, no, no. I'm listen, man. I've been watching boxing since I was 15, so that's 30 plus years of me watching boxing. I know, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not being biased or anything. Good conversation is honest conversation. So if I can't have an honest conversation, why am I talking?
okay. All right. All right. Like you said, as you say, so how did Bill respond? He ain't with a lot of fire, huh?
Nah, he just said, okay, well, that's your thoughts. I don't agree with it. I think it's bullshit, but that's your thoughts.
Okay. So what's your boxing wish list for next year? What's your boxing wish list?
Me, I'm more or less. I used to do a lot of interviews, but I'm switching it up. I'm going to do panels, more or less panels twice a week, maybe twice a week, where I get guests on that are in the business, say like Andre Rozier, Kevin Kelly, and others I can name, and we're just gonna politic and talk boxing with people that are actually Hall of Famers and people that are in the business currently, instead of me talking to fans back and forth. Now the fans could chime in and ask them questions, but I'd rather get them on my panel and have a real boxing panel than have a bunch of people who are not in the business, you know?
Got you. Shout out to my man Chuck Lane. What's up, Greg Thompson, man? How you been, man? Good to see you, bro. But what I was really asking you, which fights are on your wish list for 2024? Which fights, like what fights you gotta you like you just man, we gotta have.
Really, really none. I mean, if me being petty, I would say Andre, Wilder and Joshua because I just want him to finish off Wilder so these boys will shut up. It's not anything against Wilder, it's his stupid ass fans. I just don't.
But here's the thing. I like I said earlier, I don't see no reason why the fight can't still happen because unless we're saying, listen to me, unless we're saying that Anthony Joshua and everybody around believes he still has a legitimate shot to get amongst the elite, then the Wilder fight was no more than a grudge match money fight anyway. So if you're saying it was more to it than that, and we were seeing that fight to see if one of them two can get back up, can get back to prominence, then they might will fight each other. Now, if you telling me something else, then he need to fight Herkovich or Zhang next.
Okay, well, I'm going to put on my business hat and tell you why that fight won't happen.
Go ahead.
Wilder is 1-2 in his last 3 fights, and he's been stopped 2 times already. And he lost his last fight. No, yeah, in his last. No, that's 4 fights. I'm sorry. He's 1-3. Then he lost two, one by TKO, one by KO, and then he just lost to Parker. So how do you sell that fight when the man has really not had a win, a real win in years? That 30-second fight,
Again,
you can't sell that.
again, before I get to my comments, again, if you're telling me you gotta understand, if you're telling me they putting these fights together because they thought one of them, one or the other, still had a legitimate chance to be amongst the elite, then the fight was never more than a money grab anyway. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, when it
So
comes to Joshua, he was the elite in boxing as far
no,
as
no, no. I'm saying,
heavyweight goes.
are you saying he's still one of them, or has a shot to still be
Yeah,
one of them? Okay,
yeah,
then
of course.
his next fight need to be Zhang or Hergovich.
No, those irrelevant fights. No, no. Who was Zhang or Hergovich? They're
Who is
irrelevant.
Zhang? Who is Zhang?
He
Come
beat he
on.
beat the Juggernaut, but for all that,
The juggernaut that everybody was elevating. The juggernaut that everybody was elevating before he put him up, before he put the brakes on him.
okay, I understand what you're saying, but Joshua doesn't need those fights. It'd be a step back for him to fight those guys because they've done nothing. Wilder, on the other hand, if he could beat both of them or get a
Wait a minute,
win over, yeah, Wilder would need them.
How
Joshua
the
don't
how
need them.
listen. This is where the rankings of boxing going right now. In most of the sanctioning bodies, you got Usyk, you got Fury, Zhang. He's ranked. He's up there because of his wins over the Juggernaut. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's in line.
I understand what you're saying, but because his status means nothing to a guy like Joshua, Joshua doesn't need him. He doesn't need definitely don't need Hergovich. Wilder needs them because he needs a win. He
So
needs a
who's
win.
so who
Yeah.
does he fighting? So who's he fighting in the meantime? Who's he fighting in the meantime? Who's he?
If I mean honestly, he could sit back and wait for the winner of the Fury Usyk fight. He don't need to fight.
That could be a year from now because they might run it back.
Okay.
That could be a year. So he's going to sit out for a year waiting on that
Or
fight.
he could fight White, the fight that was canceled. Either
All right,
way, I
cool.
mean,
That's fine. That's
yeah.
fine. So let me get
He
let me
don't
get
need
to
to do
this.
nothing.
Okay, let's get this. Chuck, you saying you want to see Twan fight Regis Prograis? Why? Explain that to me. Why would why would he need Regis Prograis? What's that gonna do? I mean, it's a good fight. Don't get me wrong, but still, eh, no. Of course, Tank versus Devin. Shakur versus Tank not happening next year, y'all. We can throw that away. That's not gonna happen next year. There's no way on this side of earth that fight happening. But it's a possibility that we can get Tank versus Devin. That's a
Well,
possibility.
yeah. The thing with Shakur is, I don't believe the brother likes to engage a lot. As in the last fight, he doesn't do well with punchers. And Tank is not pro grace. He's not one of them guys that walk in a straight line. He's patient, and I know for a fact that he can box. He has boxing skills. I know that for a fact. So I don't think he wants to see Tank at all because what does he have
Mm.
that would keep? I'm being honest. What does he have that would keep Tank off him? He doesn't have the mentality to stand there, pop and move. Because you saw in his last fight, he couldn't do that with a decent puncher. Tank is not a decent puncher. He's a puncher's puncher. So I don't want to see that fight.
Okay. Okay. Shakur versus Ryan. Nah, listen. Tank will get knocked out.
By who?
Yeah, I'm with I ain't gonna lie. By who? Who knocking Tank out? Out of them.
I,
Out of them.
I know it's
Out
not
of that.
Shakur. He's not talking about Shakur, right?
Who knocking Tank out? Out of that group. Shakur is a killer, man. I think that last performance was underwhelming, but please know we will see a different outcome if Tank was to fight Shakur. Listen what I'm saying to y'all. Check this out. Check this out. I absolutely know and believe in the talent of Shakur Stevenson. I know how special he is. We all know that. But however, taking out Tank will require something that a lot of fighters don't want to do because he's not ain't nobody out, ain't none of them dudes one punch knockout artists and they just gonna hit Tank with one shot and it's over. Come on, bro. Tank is the hardest puncher out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? Tank is one of the hardest punches in the sport. You know what I'm saying? So you're not just gonna stand in front of that freight train and be like, try to get him out of there. They might try to outslick him, try to outbox him, but try to knock him out. It's suicide.
Okay, let me clarify something for whoever is writing that this Tank is gonna get knocked out. Listen, I'm a fan. Skill is only one part of this thing. I'll give you a perfect example. You take a Sugar Ray Leonard. He had skill on top of skill, but we all know that he was nothing but a pretty boxing killer. If he got you hurt, or if you saw that if he even sniffed that you weren't pushing back as hard as he thought you was gonna push back, he was gonna kill you. He was just gonna come for you, hunt you, and kill you. I don't see that in a lot of these dudes today that can box. Okay, they have the skill, but they don't have that type of personality that says, I will kill you in there. Kind of like Ali was pretty and all that, but Ali was nothing but a pretty killer, just like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Like I said, listen, I don't have a problem for anybody to think that Shakur can win the fight. Like I said, I absolutely understand how special Shakur is. But listen, take this with a grain of salt. He's going to have to commit a lot more than he has in some of these fights with some of the punches that he's fought. He's going to have to commit to the fight, even if he outpoints Tank. But it's an underwhelming fight. They're not going to let you beat the cash cow like that. You're going to have to commit to the fight. You're going to have to commit to the fight. That's all I can tell y'all. You know what I mean?
And you're not gonna see that because who's okay? Let's be honest. Out of the let's take the three of them who take Tank out the picture. Out of Shakur and Haney, which one of them have that attitude that they're gonna just come at you? Which one of them? I mean, which one of them have that dog in them that says, "I'm not just gonna bite you. I'm gonna lock down on you and just get you."
Well, Devin tries. Devin
Yeah,
at least
yeah,
tries.
he does.
He
So
tries.
basically, Devin, because listen, I've seen Shakur fight numerous times. I don't get that feeling from him. He knows how to box. He's very skillful, but what else? I don't see anything else. I don't feel that fire. Listen, boxing is beauty, it's brilliance, and it's brutality. If you have the beauty and you have the brilliance and you like the brutality, you're gonna win some fights. But when it comes down to it, and you get into that heat where there's men, you fighting a fighter that he's not gonna give you the time to set up and all that, and you got to bite down. That's when you have to be brutal. I don't see too much brutality in a lot of these guys. They can box and they're beautiful, but they're not brutal.
Like I say, man, we got a lot of possibilities. We could really get this thing cooking in 2024. But I'm not gonna lie to you. You will see it. Everybody has a bad night. Absolutely, everybody has a bad night. But the fact of the matter is, listen, being that fight was so bad, and it was his last fight, and he agreed it was a bad fight. You got to take a couple steps back, do some things to get hot again before we talk about you and Tank. Nobody's going to clamor for that fight right now. You got to do something to get hot. You're hot because of who you are, but you got to do something. You got to get somebody with a name in the ring and whoop them.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, but it was a bad night for him in the ring. How he how he conducted himself, and a bad night for him out the ring. You don't tell the fans "f you" and don't come to my fights. You don't do that. Now, what did you just say? Because if he had that bad night, you have to get somebody in the ring with a name and look good against him. That's exactly what I was saying against Wilder. That's exactly what I said Wilder has to do.
Do you think we will see Devin versus Tank? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I need the same thing I need with Canelo and Benavidez. I need it now. Don't milk it. Don't milk it before somebody come through and mess up the party. I think this is a good podcast. You got me give. Oh, talk to me. Talk to me, bro. Talk to me. DM me, man. I'll send you some stuff, bro. Yeah, talk to me. Talk to me. We out and about and we on location too. So talk to me, man. You know what I mean?
I can tell you where Alvarez made a mistake in when it comes to Benavidez. He should have fought him 2 years ago when I had. Okay, David Benavidez came on the podcast I do with brother Major Key, right? So he came on there and we were talking about Alvarez and I said, okay, I don't think you could beat him right now, David. I really don't. Maybe another 2 years. And of course, he's a fighter, so he pushed back a little bit. But I wasn't disrespectful. Those 2 years have passed. He should have fought him 2 years ago. Fighting him now will just be him passing the torch on to him. And I truly believe that's how that fight will go. It'll be a good fight, but it'll be a passing of the torch.
Let me say this to y'all, man. And I'm riding with David. Cool brother. One of the coolest guys you ever want to meet. He a monster in the ring, but he cool dude out the ring. But let me say this to y'all, man. I don't know if that old man done. See, everybody throwing dirt on Canelo too soon. I don't know if that old man ain't still got one left in him. I don't know.
No,
So
he's not.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, brother. But he's not done at all. I'm not saying the brother's
You
done.
said the passing of the torch.
Yeah, I said it's a passing of the
You
torch. It
passing the
doesn't
torch,
mean.
when you pass
No,
the torch, on your
I'm
way
not
out.
saying he's done. I'm saying I'm saying that there are different levels right now. Alvarez, because Father Time is undefeated, has lost a step or two. That's going to happen. Um, David Benavidez is reaching that peak. He's what, 25? He's reaching that peak right now. So it isn't like, I'm not saying he's done. I'm simply saying that one of them has lost a step while the other one is reaching, he's reaching his apex right now. That's all.
He said, I think he's good only if he's not cheating.
Who are they talking about?
Canelo.
Okay, because see, that's the conversation I can't stand because, like
It's
I
a
said,
fact.
I had an interview with David, David Alvarez. What's it? Good Lord, I said the boy
David
name wrong.
Benavidez.
David Benavidez, David Alvarez. But and he came out of his mouth and said the reason why he didn't get the fight with Canelo is because he did the coke and he got overweight and he lost his belt. Now, if this man Alvarez came up dirty once, you're gonna hold him to it all the time. It's not like he's Big Baby when he done it repeatedly. It was one time, right? Come on now.
That's all I want me to say, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, Greg, listen, we'll chop it up, man. Any boxer you got in, we'll wrap. But look, here's the thing. I don't really want to get into it. Who cheated, who did whatever. I got you. All I'm saying is I'm really, 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 really pulling for David Benavidez. Like I said, I really like him. However, I'm not gonna be stupid and say I'm wild to the fact that I think that old man still got a lot left in the tank. Yeah, no, I don't think Canelo ducking him. Listen, Canelo is in a position as this. Y'all gotta understand something, bro. You gotta understand, bro. When you are in the position he's in, where you can dictate the gauntlet, you know what I mean? I'm him. You know what I mean? I'm one of the faces, if not the face of the game. I do what I want to do. I move how I want to move when I want to move. That's just what you got to deal with him. So sorry, y'all. I don't think he ducking. I just think he waiting for the price to be right.
To be honest with you, what he's doing now is because he's on his way out the door. So he already, when he was younger, he took on any and everybody, right? Even if folks. This is why he left Golden Boy. That's why he left Golden Boy, because they wouldn't let him fight the fights he wanted to fight. But now he's on his way out the door. He says, okay, I don't need to go fight, this dude on the top of the hill. I could fight this dude that's in the middle of the road. He still has a name. He's still valid. That's what he's doing.
Let me ask you something, though.
Yeah,
See, people, here we go, right? As much as we want to come for him, you got to put some respect on his resume. I've been listen, y'all want me to get hyped for this youngin' that's up and coming, right? Right? But where I'm at is this. I've been in the ring with Floyd. I've been in the ring with Cotto. I've been in the ring with Triple G. I've been in the ring with Sergey Kovalev. I've been in the ring with Dmitry Duvall. What do y'all want me to do? If I beat this man, you're gonna say, "Oh, go fight Benavidez." I'm never gonna satisfy y'all. But however, I done been how many nights, how many times I gotta go underneath the big lights for y'all? I done been in the ring with the biggest names in the game. That's a fact. Talk to me.
Well, yeah. You know, we in the age of you
What
know,
have you
the
done
dude
lately?
who's successful. You know, people tend to come down on him the hardest, and the dude who's kind of flashy, but is not as successful. Those are the ones that they throw their throw all their support behind. I don't understand that, because you know this, because you know on the other show that we met on, Boxing Basement, right? I asked the question. I hear y'all talking, but who has a better resume than him? Who? I said that all the time. Y'all be like, nah, that don't mean nothing. Yeah, well, yeah, it does mean something.
I don't know. I don't know where we going, but all I'm saying is, listen. I believe the fight happens this year because I don't think he's ducking them. I think the price is right now. I think with that big win that homeboy got over the Boo Boo Andre, it legitimized the fight. It drove his stock up, and I think I think Canelo will do it. The only problem we may got with it happening next year is he may wait till September versus his fight in May. You know what I'm saying? Because he's got the two Floyd Mayweather slots. For those that don't know, Floyd fought in May and September. So Canelo got the Floyd Mayweather slots. If y'all paid attention, he took Floyd's slots.
Those, first of all, you talking about Cinco de Mayo. I mean, the last I checked, Floyd is not Latino, nor is he Mexican.
But he took them 2
So
days.
I don't know how those became his slots.
But they was.
And I tell people all the time, Floyd Mayweather is not a pay-per-view star. He fought people that put him on pay-per-view, but he's not a pay-per-view star.
Hey man,
you
don't gone bonkers.
No, listen.
You don't gone
You
bonkers.
can't listen. Tyson, you could put him in there with anybody, it'll sell because he's Mike Tyson. You can't put Floyd in there with just any and everybody because it won't sell. He needs somebody that has their own country, has their own following, because by himself.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Now we're not gonna spend a lot of time on this. Hold on. Listen to me, bro. Listen.
What did he say? Because I see he said my name.
He said, Mr. Graham, you can't have 30 years in the game and make that statement. You want to see it again?
No, I just want to be proven wrong. That's all.
Okay, here's the thing. You can say that who he fight mattered. Absolutely it did. Who he fight did matter. But the only issue you're going to have is when you look at all these people names on the list, he's the only common denominator in all those mega fights. That's the difference. He's the common denominator. See what I'm saying? The man got 5 of the top, the whole top 4 is him, and 5 of the top 6 highest grossing fights in the history of the sport. But like I said, when you look at everybody else that you paired him with, he's the only common denominator.
He's not the only common denominator. No, you're actually leaving out another common denominator.
Who's that?
All these people had a country behind them.
I give you that. That's still the common denominator. But on the list.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, tell me this. When he fought Berto, how come he didn't get the same number?
Because he was on his way out. Nobody cared about Berto.
Because he can't sell without somebody that already has a fan base attached to them.
Listen. Even the top selling rapper or artist, when they come to the end of their career, they don't sell like they did when they was the hottest. Come on, bro. You can't hold me to that.
No. Okay, can I ask you a question? Before he fought Oscar, was he selling like that?
No.
Floyd.
No. But that was his ticket to the lights. That was his ticket to the lights.
And okay.
That's why everybody hold on. And that's why everybody's running to try to get in the ring with Canelo, because they want their ticket to the lights.
Right. But listen, what was Floyd's biggest fight against a non-Mexican or someone that didn't have a country behind him? Meaning Pacquiao had a country. What was his biggest fight?
Pacquiao had a country.
That didn't have a country. He's Filipino, and he brought the Asian market. So yes, he did. Please don't say that. Please don't.
So pull Pacquiao numbers without Floyd.
No. I asked you a question. What was Floyd's biggest fight without someone that actually had a built-in fan base? What was his biggest fight without someone with a built-in fan base?
Without a built-in fan base.
Mexican, and you know, these dudes weren't just any Mexicans. They were dudes that actually had a following behind them from Mexico.
But my
Pacquiao, everybody
question
knew
for
he had
you
the
is this:
Philippines and
okay,
the Asians.
I told you,
Okay.
who he fought matter. But where your argument gonna lose steam with me is none of these people are anywhere on the list. Besides Oscar, none of them are on the list other than with him.
Okay, so
That's a fact.
okay, so how come he didn't plug in like a black fighter and make the same numbers?
You know what they try to do when two black fighters fight?
No, I don't. Tell me.
Yeah. The country don't support it. It's not supported.
That's not true because you know
That's a
Holyfield and Tyson made big numbers. Hearns and Lennon made big numbers. Crawford
Are they
and
on the
Smith
list?
made-
Are they
Crawford and
anywhere
Smith
on the
made big
list?
numbers.
The only black fight, and you do know Floyd versus Mosley. You know Floyd versus Sugar Shane Mosley is one of the top 10 too, right? You know
Yeah,
that, right?
because they fought in his hometown. Yes, I do. Where he had a follow. Yes, I know.
They didn't fight in Flint, Michigan. They didn't fight in Grand
They
Rapids, Michigan.
fought in Sugar Shane's. They fought out west. That's where his fan base is.
That fight was in Vegas, bro. That fight was in Vegas.
That's out west. Shane is from out west. He's from there.
Are you sure? So Shane, so even when the fight was Shane sold the fight, not Floyd.
Exactly. I mean, yes, because you can't. Okay, who is Floyd's fan base? No. Just tell me who his fan base is.
Hold on, wait. So you're telling me out of all these fights, the other person sold every fight.
When it came to the Latinos, absolutely. When it comes to Shane, yes. When it came to the Latinos, when it came to McGregor, absolutely. And when it came to Pacquiao, absolutely.
Don't run from this.
I'm not. I said absolutely. Yes.
So now that we named the black fighter that did over $1 million
the one black fighter
in the world.
The one black fighter.
You said how come he didn't do it with a black fighter?
And wisely enough, they fought in Vegas where his fan base is.
That's Floyd's fan base. They didn't fight
him on the East Coast. They fought him in Vegas.
That's Floyd's fan base. Floyd.
I don't know where his fan base is. You know, where's Floyd's fan base?
Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's his fan base?
Who is his fan base?
Yes.
Actually, his fan base is the whole boxing community and the haters of him.
Okay, so tell me this: when Floyd was around the same time when Roy was there, Tyson was there, how come he didn't sell as much?
He was just getting in the sport when Tyson on his way out.
No, even though Tyson was on his way out.
He was just getting in the game.
And no, Floyd actually got to a point where his name was ringing bells because he was doing so well. He got to a point where his name was ringing bells. How come he wasn't doing nothing?
Bro, that's early in his career, man. He was building his resume just like everybody else do.
You
don't get to do that. So
no. But it took Oscar De La Hoya to make him. It took Oscar De La Hoya to open up the door for him to become Money Mayweather. Without Oscar, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Why did Oscar take the fight if he wasn't?
Because he chose to. Because he chose to.
Right, but he also.
Okay. You're not telling me that Oscar needed him.
No, he didn't. Oscar didn't need nobody.
He chose him. But at the time.
Oscar was also very calculated at which fights he thought would sell and which ones wouldn't.
Exactly, because he knew that at the time Floyd had a little bit of popularity, but it was Oscar's fan base that really carried the fight, not Floyd's little popularity. Floyd was a little popular at that time, but he couldn't sell nothing.
Bro, at the end of the day,
you know, he never sold out in his own.
That's what you're doing. What you're doing
home state. He never sold out in Michigan ever once.
That's fine. That's fine because he only fought there in the early part of his career. That's fine.
He can fight there right now. He won't sell.
Okay, he can fight there right now and won't sell. Okay, cool.
He ain't selling now. Tyson came out. Tyson damn near 60, fighting older Roy Jones, and sold a hell of a lot.
That's fine. But right now, the highest grossing fight in the history of the sport is Floyd Mayweather, and nothing Tyson can do about it.
And that's all he's known for. He doesn't have one fight. That's all Tyson can do about it. See, and that's what he can hang his hat on. But he can't hang his hat on no fight that people are going to remember him by.
Why not? But what fight? What fight won't they?
What's
Why
the
won't
fight
they
that people
remember?
gonna remember him?
You
Okay,
pick.
so what's the fight people gonna remember him by?
You pick. You pick. In
I don't
terms
have
of
one.
what?
That's why I'm asking you.
When you say the fight they gonna remember, you talking about in terms of what though? In terms of who the
Where
level
where
of competition? What we talking about?
where's his Sugar Ray Tommy Hearns fight? Where's his fight on that level?
Corrales, Castillo, Hatton, Pacquiao.
How was no. You talk that fight was a one-sided fight. So how was it on the same level as Hearns and Sugar Ray?
That's the difference. When he fought Corrales was the big man on campus on the pound for pound list. He was 33-0 with 27 knockouts. Corrales was favored to win that fight. Floyd was the underdog in that fight. So you can't turn around and say, well, who's Corrales? No,
No.
Corrales was him. Corrales was
All
him
that is
at that
true.
time.
All that is true, but it's not on the same level as a Hearns and Leonard because it wasn't a back and forth fight. It was a one-sided fight, so it's not on the same level.
So because I dominated the guy that was supposed to be, it don't count.
That can't be a classic fight if it's a one-way fight. You can't. How do you make a one-way fight a
all I'm
classic
asking
fight?
is that one? Do you count Bud's
No.
win over? Do you count Bud's win over Earl?
We just had that conversation. I said because of the magnitude of it, I would give it fight of the year. But it was a one-sided fight.
So what am
But
I
it's
saying?
not on the same level as the Hearns and Hagler. No.
Stop for a minute. How is two undefeated top pound for pound fighters fighting at their peak of their careers not a mega? That was a major fight, bro.
Okay.
That was a major fight, bro.
Here's the difference. Because of the weight class they were in, that at the time, nobody really paid attention to the really lower weight classes.
Are you
talking
crazy?
about guys that are fighting at 147.
Crazy?
No, I'm not crazy. I'm being real with you. Listen, the fight.
I'll tell you what you do. I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna waste the people's. I'm not gonna waste the people's time. I'll tell you what you do.
Because you can't dispute it.
No, what I'm giving you is facts. I ain't even got to do that. What's not a classic? What are y'all talking about? What's not a classic? What's not a classic? What's not a classic?
What was classic about any of his fights?
What was classic?
Because a classic fight is a back and forth fight. So what was classic about any of his fights? Okay, no. I have a better question. Of all his fights, what fight did you think he was going to lose, going into the fight?
What fight I thought he was going to lose?
Yes. That's what makes a fight interesting because of the intrigue and the drama. What fight did you think he was going to lose going in?
None of them.
Thank you. So there you have it. He has no outstanding fights.
No, that ain't it. I didn't think he was going to lose none of them because I understand the sport. You know what I mean? Listen, everybody, listen. Hearns and Hagler absolutely was animals. Nobody's questioning that. But if I fought my Hagler and I fought my Hearns, just because I dominated them does not take away from the fact of what they did before they fought me. Canelo was 44-0. Corrales was 33-0. Ricky Hatton was 40-0. You cannot take that from me because I dominated them. That's hate. That's not facts. That's hate.
Oh my God. No one's hating, and you can't call it a classic fight if it's a one-sided fight. So
then why are we calling Spence and
no one called that fight a classic fight. No one did. Who called that fight a classic fight?
Hey, listen, man. Listen. This man is being rated, getting all the tremors off his victory over that fight. Diego Corrales was one of the biggest names in boxing. He was high on the pound for pound list when Floyd beat him. You cannot take the fight from him. So was Castillo. So was Ricky Hatton. So was Canelo Alvarez. You cannot take them fights from him.
Okay, I'm not taking. Where does this? You take us? You can't take something from a man who accomplished something already. As far as Alvarez, everybody knew he was green as grass going into 44
that fight. Fights. 44 fights. Well, 44 fights.
Deontay Wilder damn near got 50 fights, and he green as hell too. So
but Canelo had been in it with other world champions though.
A washed up Shane Mosley and
Austin Trout was not washed up.
A dude that's on the same level as him. Okay.
Man, listen. So let me ask y'all something, right? So if two champions, because this is what y'all crying for these young champions to do now, right? Because Austin Trout was in his prime and so was Canelo. So when they was both undefeated and they both was fighting to be unified, they fought each other. So now you're diminishing the fight because they was young. Because ain't that what y'all want Devin and Shakur to do now? Ain't that what y'all want Tank and Shakur and Devin to do now? Don't y'all want the youngest to fight now? So how you gonna diminish somebody that did it? That don't make sense. It don't make sense.
Nobody's diminishing anything. It's just the facts of the facts. He was green going into the fight
Hey,
because he
I
really.
listen. All right, so
Okay.
this is what we got going on. This is what we got going on. Everybody, listen. I got to get out of here because we got to come back at 4 o'clock for the NFL talks. We're going to get into the Ravens. We're going to get into all that good stuff. So if y'all rocking with me, I'll be back in exactly a hot 10 minutes and we're going to get into all the NFL things. Mr. Graham, do you got anything you want to share with the people before we get out, before we end this boxing talk? You on mute, sir.
Yes, I know. I said that was a damn good game last night. I actually love the outcome.
I'm
How
sure you
about them?
did because you rolled with Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. How about them Cowboys?
We
I'm
be
done.
all right. We get in all that too. And Motley, y'all really could have won that game too with that crazy stuff. All right, y'all. I'll be back, y'all, in about a hot 10 minutes. Please, Brown. Why didn't y'all go last night? Why didn't you go last night? How about that? Why you didn't go last night? Even though I didn't expect y'all to win, but you really had a chance. No. Let that roll. Let that roll, cuz all right, y'all. All right, y'all. Look, Motley, Chuck, all y'all get with me in about another hot 5-10 minutes. We're gonna come back and we're gonna get into this NFL talks, man. Appreciate y'all.